James Comer's here, and he's telling Laura and Graham that they found the money. It goes straight to Joe Biden's garage.
Congressman James Comer, chairman of the House Oversight Committee. Congressman, what does this mean?
Well, I can tell you.
No idea.
That on the wire that Hunter Biden received from the Chinese national, the beneficiary address listed was Joe Biden's home address at a time where I'm pretty certain Hunter Biden was not living in the home of Joe Biden. But if you
are you certain, or are you not certain?
If you go back even further than that,
because he was living there at the lake house.
This junk
also incorporated in Delaware and used that house as his Delaware address for purposes of banking. So what the fuck?
Lee, who wired the $260,000 from China to Hunter Biden's personal account, he is part of the Chinese Communist Party.
Oh yeah. Well, not anymore. Obviously, he was one of these people who was grabbed for corruption, which would mean, by the way, trying to do business in the United States and escape the CCP. But whatever.
He is a huge business person in China.
Yeah, he's also a big, huge business person in New York, where he has a $5 million apartment in Trump Tower.
With a Chinese-backed entity.
It's a ghost. There's a Chinese ghost. An entity. It's an alien. It's an EBE, an extraterrestrial biological entity. We've got one dissected at Area 51. Area Wushi.
Investments in the United States. So what the one...
Sorry, they what?
That funds investments in the United States.
Okay, so they fund investments, plural, in the United States. You mean like the property he owns at Trump Tower? Okay. $5 million of it for that one particular apartment, just that one apartment? Does he own others? Have you checked those out?
The one issue in Congress that Democrats and Republicans agree on is we don't want China taking over industries important to our national security. We won't.
Yeah, I think so. I think taking over industries important to our national security. Now, I don't think everybody agrees that investing is taking over in one fell swoop, and also that every industry is necessary to our national security, period, because this was about an oil and gas deal, or a natural gas deal.
Buying farmland. This is the guy that does that. Jonathan Lee is the person who represents China. And if you research it, Joe Biden met with Jonathan Lee. He wrote a letter of recommendation for his child to get into college in the United States. There is a relationship that was developed between Joe Biden and Jonathan Lee when he was vice president. And now we have evidence that Jonathan Lee, who Joe Biden said his son never took any money from, China. Hunter Biden's...
No, he never said he never said that. What they're talking about is the $1.2 billion that he came in and in 15 minutes he got whatever. That's what Biden was referencing.
Said that Hunter never received any money from this guy. We have evidence that he received over $250,000, and the address listed on the wire was Joe Biden's personal residence.
You mean the place where Hunter was living at the time?
Oh, Congressman, I was reading something on, I think it was on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Shitter. It's pronounced shitter.
Saying, well, but this happened before Joe was president, before he became president in January 2020. Why does that matter?
Because there was no guarantee he was going to be president. Nobody expected him to be even running at that point. This is after he was vice president, when he had no effective leverage on the government. He was a former federal official. That's why. At this point, the question would be, according to Laura Ingraham and good old Jamie here, is that how could any American receive any foreign investment funds at all? Because technically speaking, if you haven't already been president for 8 years, you could be one day, and therefore they're setting you up.
It doesn't matter, and it...
Yeah, it does.
Happened while Joe Biden was a candidate for president. He was
a candidate
already running for president of the United States. And
hold on.
For president. He was already running for president of the United States. And
nope.
Wire from China, who's our biggest enemy. It's like
2018, 2017.
Thing. in this hall where I'm currently being interviewed, there's massive disagreement on funding levels for the government. I don't think that's any secret. One thing that we all agree on is China's a threat to the United States. And here we have more evidence of...
Hold on one second. This takes a moment. Okay. Jonathan Lee. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if I can find this. This is the article. Well, this is an article about what Comer's saying. So it's kind of a layered up approach. Hold on one second. Get out of here. Here we go. God damn it. Move out of the way. Why do I need the top of this? I can't see the top of the article, stupid. Dismiss. First son, Hunter Biden, received 2 wire transfers from Chinese nationals worth a total of $260,000 months after dead Joe began his 2020 presidential campaign, with the elder Biden's Delaware home listed as the beneficiary address, a key House Republican said on Tuesday. Revealed financial records that his panel subpoena turned up the transfers in July and August of 2019. The revelation is another blow to President Biden's insistence that he had no knowledge. Bank records don't lie. In 2020, Joe Biden told Americans that his family never received money from China, which is not exactly what he said, but that's whatever. Also, receiving investment funds or payment isn't the same thing, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's splitting hairs, but it's stupid. Hunter Biden is known to have spent time living in Father Joe's Wilmington home following his 2017 divorce from his wife, Kathleen Buell, even falsely claiming he owned the property on a July 2018 background check from part of a rental application. Hunter also listed his dad's house as the billing address for his personal credit card and Apple account in 2018, 2019. That's why the wire went there, or why the wire was listed there with his bank. He received 2 wire transfers from Chinese nationals worth a total of $260,000 after his father began his... Okay, I balk at the after the thing started. However, both the first son's memoir and proposed guilty plea agreement placed him in California with his wife in the summer of 2018. We have the address for his bank accounts and his business were there. It was a business thing, whatever. The 2 payments revealed Tuesday are linked to BHR Partners. That's Bohai, whatever, Rosemont, right? A venture between Hunter Biden's Rosemont Seneca and Bohai Capital, a Chinese investment firm. First payment of $10,000 came from a person identified as Miss Wang Xin on July 26, 2019. The second took place a month later from Li Xiangsheng, who goes by Jonathan Lee. Subpoena, let's see, breaking. I just subpoenaed and obtained 2 bank wires revealing Hunter Biden received payments originating from Beijing in 2019, blah, blah, blah. Announced received payments originating from the Chinese nationals, whatever. Okay, bank records don't lie. Okay, this is a fucking same statement. Lee is the CEO of BHR Partners, was long considered a person of interest by Comer and congressional investigators. When Joe Biden was vice president, he spoke on the phone and had coffee with Jonathan Lee in Beijing, and later wrote a college letter of recommendation for his children. Comer noted, citing testimony for Hunter Biden's former business partner, Devin Archer. White House officials fired back at Comer, arguing the full context of the situation paints a different picture. They stressed that off-on nature of Hunter's time at his parents' residence as he battled drug addiction and mental health issues, right? Imagine them arguing that if someone stayed at their parents' house during the pandemic, listed it as their permanent address for work and got a paycheck, the parents somehow also work for the employer. Right, that's silly. Spokesman Ian Sams said it's bananas, yet this is what the extreme House Republicans have sunk to. Hunter's lawyer, Abby Lowell, argued this was another instance in which Republicans twist the truth to mislead people to promote their fantasy political agenda. This is a documented loan, not a distribution or payout, that was wired from a private individual to his new bank account, which listed the address on his driver's license, his parents' address, because it was his only permanent address at the time, Lowell told CNN. Archer told investigators that Hunter Biden introduced Lee to his father, then vice president, late 2013, during an official trip to Beijing. By the way, I don't doubt that Lee may have been trying to honeypot or influence Hunter. That just doesn't mean it worked, though. Archer also said that now first son put his father on speaker during a later meeting with Lee. Wall Street Journal was reported Hunter Biden's paid-in capital to establish the company was $425,000. Has reported that Hunter Biden's paid-in capital to establish the company was $425,000, according to corporate registration records throughout 2021. Then White House Press Secretary Hunter Biden was working to unwind his 10% stake in BHR. BHR Partners says it manages $2.1 billion in assets that has taken a prominent role in Chinese state-backed companies during acquiring investment overseas. Joe Biden's abuse of public office. Hunter Biden notes in his 2020 memoir, Beautiful Things, he was living in California at the time. Wire transfer was made. Told reporters Tuesday, find an example of the president lied to Americans again. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Comer liked this relationship that is developed between Joe Biden and Jonathan Lee. Nonsense. They keep responding. Okay, one thing we all agree on, China's a threat to the... Okay, these are quotes from the actual thing we were just watching. Oversight and Ways Committee, blah, blah, oversight, lawmakers, handful of witnesses, forensics accounting expert, Dubinsky, blah, blah, blah. Jonathan Turley. Okay. Yeah, meaningless. Not impressed. Here we go.
Biden.
Again, this is money that goes to Hunter because that's where his permanent address was. If they have any of the, if it showed up in the fucking shutters of the house, the Wilmington house, and Jonathan Lee got something special out of it other than a letter of recommendation for his daughter after he was no longer president or vice president.
Family receiving millions and millions of dollars from
Well, this would be hundreds of thousands of dollars in this particular case, to hundreds of thousands of
our
dollars.
adversarial country for who knows what. The Bidens never have said what they did to receive the money. What did Hunter?
He was setting up a business in the United States that was a partnership through BHR, acting as an advisor, legal counsel, and one of the investors.
Do to receive $250,000 from a Chinese national affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party.
Are there any Chinese nationals, according to James Comer, who are not affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party? Are there any Chinese Americans that, according to James Comer, are not affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
Maybe it was just more blow art, Congressman, that lovely art that I know you'd love to have hanging in your living room. Congressman, good to see you. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
That's it. That was the whole 3 minutes. That was the entirety of it. I know you were hoping for more details, as was I.